Hello and welcome to another episode of the e-commerce coffee break. Today we want to talk about data segmentation. Now, obviously data, most important part of any e-commerce business, and it becomes more difficult the faster your business grows to really find the data points where you can make an educated decision on. So therefore, with me today is Chao. He is the CEO and co-founder of a data marketing platform called Segments by Tresl at tresl.co. John has more than 16 years of experience in data science. He's a former LinkedIn data science and has thousands of hours experience with data science and predictive modeling. With Segments by Tresl, John helps nowadays Shopify brands increase marketing ROI with one-click segmentation paired with actionable insights. Segments is built to give you analytical powers so you can uncover the hidden insights and take action via pre-built segmentation to grow your business. What that means in detail, we will find out today, and therefore I will welcome John now. Hey, John, how are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Klaus.
Yeah, you're welcome. John, give me a bit of a background. Where are you coming from? What's your background? What got you into data science?
Yeah, so I have a math and statistics background. I've been doing data science for about 16 years. So after getting my master's from Stanford, I started working in the San Francisco Bay Area. Started actually in retail data science. So we were building like price optimization, demand forecasting models for like Walmart, Best Buy, Targets of the world. That's where I got my start, sort of cut my teeth on like a lot of the predictive models, so sort of out of school. So did that for about 6.5, 7 years. Our company was bought by IBM. So I stayed about like another year after that, and I moved to a marketing agency. I did a lot of social media predictive models, predicting box office DVD sales for Warner Brothers, Sony, using Twitter and Facebook data. A little bit of sentiment analysis, a little bit of like predictive, likes and shares. After that, my true passion was still back in tech, so I had the opportunity to join LinkedIn on their sales solutions team. So I joined as a senior manager for data science, and I was there for about 4 years, building more machine learning models for sales and marketing teams. This is also where I realized sort of how powerful data is. Like I had an opportunity to see firsthand how the best people in the world are using data for like transformative like growth. And so this is where I really wanted to make it my mission to help more people unlock this data power.
Okay. So what brought you up to the idea for segments? Is there not enough data within Shopify itself? Why would you need more data?
It's the opposite. It's actually the opposite. It's just because the data is already available, right? Like there's so much data already available within Shopify and within some of your marketing apps, but it's just not being brought to you. It's not connected, right? And that's really why it's hard to make decisions. And the idea for segments was born out of sort of something that we used to do at LinkedIn, which is our marketers are like so spoiled, right? Like they have a huge data team giving them everything that they needed. And so we used to do this, a lot of segmentation based off of, we would say like behavior segmentation, right? What do they do on the site? What are the things that they give you on LinkedIn? Which posts they liked, all these engagement data. So we need to figure out how to distill like thousands and thousands of attributes into a few like predictable scores to predict who's going to open this email, who's going to convert on this campaign. Out of 500 million members, you just can't email everybody anymore. And so you really needed to prioritize, and that's what it is. It's segmentation is really just getting to a list of customers that are like sorted based on the purpose that you're trying to achieve. And so that got me to this idea of segmentation and segments for Shopify.
So if I understand you right, it's about asking the right questions and then getting to the data and not the other way around, having the data and then not knowing what to do with it. Is that right?
It is a bit of both. It's a bit of both, right? Because what I've learned through my career is the interaction between most of us, most people with data is not a natural one. And you just can't make everyone a data scientist. It's just not something that you can do. But if you are able to summarize the information effectively and present it in a meaningful way, like an intuitive way, most people are comfortable making the decision based on the insights that you give them, right? So it's almost doing all of that pre-work to help more people understand what it takes to be data-driven, And I think that's the problem today. It's just you have a lot of tools, you have a lot of apps, you have a lot of charts and numbers and tables that you as a person can't figure out, and most analysts probably can't even figure it out. But it's because you haven't put in the work, right? Like I feel like if you did that, most of our customers would probably attest to this, that our dashboards help them can make decisions much easier, and I think that's the difference.
Now I work mainly with small and medium enterprise clients. Obviously, they don't have a data science team behind it. And how can they find out, or how can they uncover the hidden opportunities in their business with segments?
So take email, for example, right? Like a lot of our customers use a couple of popular email services on the Shopify platform, right? The usual suspects like Klaviyo, OmniSend, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, and so on and so forth. Most of these tools already have some segmentation abilities built in. Like you can create a list, you can give it a rule, and then they'll do these things for you, right? Automated campaigns. So people ask me, it's like, why do I need the segments? Well, segments really help you figure out why you need to segment and how to segment. And that's sort of the difference. Is that we have a lot of pre-built segments that are out of the box, which is plug and playable. And it gives you the data around the story for your customers so that you know what to segment. And that's kind of the reason why.
Talking about customer lifetime value, what's your take on that? How does it help?
It's one of those things that everyone's heard of, but no one really knows how to calculate it. And it's like really complicated. I've heard probably like at least a dozen different sort of variations of customer lifetime value. People say LTV or CLV. We chose to stuck with CLV, but CLV is really important because it tells you that it's not about just the first purchase, right? It's not only about first order AOV or like all these things. It's about like repeatability and incrementality, extending the customer journey, right? Like we use internally, we use like a 2-year forward-looking one based on your source data. And when we talk about CLV, I talk about the opportunity for our brands to build a more meaningful relationships over multiple years with the customer, right? It's like it's not a secret that most of our brands actually don't turn a profit on the first purchase, right? Because you got to give that money to Facebook, give that money to Google, right, and whatnot. But you start to make money after probably maybe the second and third purchase. So a lot of our strategy is structured around getting people to the second and third purchase, because we do have data to back it up. Like every time people you get them to the second purchase, they're like 60% more likely to buy just another time. So it kind of plateaus around order 6. So that's kind of what it is. Like, it's like I want to talk about customer lifetime value in terms of extending that customer journey and helping people come back to the brand time and time again.
Mm-hmm. Now you say you have about 30 prepared segments already coming with Tresl. Give me some examples. What's coming out of the box?
So the first one we usually talk about is like a lifecycle segmentation, right? So like post-purchase campaigns, like a lot of customers maybe have this as a pre-built or as a default kind of coming out of your email service platforms, but nobody really took the time to understand, like, are those times sort of right for my store, for my customers? And that's where I think immediately can help add value, is to we structure this lifecycle grid as like a number of purchases down the vertical axis, and then we have time since last order on the horizontal axis, right? So we basically create like a grid of like 12 lifecycle stages. And what this really helps is like, well, immediately you have a bird's eye view of how many customers are currently sort of at risk who have bought one time and haven't bought for like X number of days. And my first question is like, well, like, what would you like to do, right? Like, clearly they're like, oh, I don't want them to churn, and so like maybe we can give them an offer, right? Or all the people who have churned, for example, like people who churned loyals, for example, people who have bought 3 or more times but now hasn't bought something for over, let's say, it's different per store, right? But let's say with like 180 days or whatever. So then we would say, okay, well, you can take this group of customers, right? Now you can sync it across your different channels, right? You can send them email, send them a text, give them a retargeting campaign on Facebook, and sort of retarget them again on Google, right? Like, so now you can really deliver a consistent experience to the same list of customers across different channels, that feels consistent, sort of, and for many of the customers, that's like for the first time they're able to do that, and that's actually sort of they're really if they feel like it's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you're pulling a lot of data from different platforms in to give a bigger picture than a single platform could do that on its own. What kind of platforms do you connect to?
So we focus on the first thing is we want to be sort of everywhere our brands are on, right? Like as long as they have some sort of API integrations, then we want to like basically connect to those. But right now we focus on the main ones are email, SMS, Facebook, and Google, right? Just because that's like well, I would say probably 95% of brands are using either one of those four, right? Or sometimes more than one. Besides that, I think it's become more and more popular are subscription apps. Mm-hmm. So a lot of our customers are using subscription apps or introducing subscriptions to their customers. The other one will be like loyalty and some sort of review. These ones actually it's been hot on a roadmap. And then there's like a few payment options, like sort of afterpay or like buy now pay later options. I think those ones are just like those are like in your stack, right? In your technology stack, your marketing stack, and then you want to just sort of bring that data in so that you can see how that change, your customer behavior. Is people using afterpay, for example, have a lot higher lifetime value? Do people give 5-star reviews? Do they come back and purchase more? Like those are the questions that are sort of on everyone's mind that they want to answer, but really couldn't today.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, a marketing platform or a science platform as you have is giving a lot of benefits to store owners. So they get information they otherwise wouldn't have. What would you recommend to someone, again, coming from a small or medium enterprise-sized business, getting started with it? They're coming completely fresh mindset, want to get started. Where do they need to start with? Just as a tip from your side.
For sure. Yeah. I think I feel like when I talk to customers, I do probably like 3, 4, 5 calls a week sometimes. I feel like there's a sense of like they're just not sure, right? It's like I want to do it, I want to segment my customers, or even I give them these options if they're still like I just don't want to make a mistake, right? So a lot of times it's like because they feel like if they make a mistake, on Facebook, it's actually probably very costly because it's very expensive to make a mistake. But like for email segmentations, the risk is actually lower, right? Because like the email you send actually doesn't really cost any money. And so like we are there to kind of help to guide them through it. Like that's the first thing is like we're Shopify Plus certified, our data is good and we are here to help, right? Like that's the first thing I want to say is like we are compassionate and we want to make data more human. So like that's what I try to bring to the table every single time I have conversations with our customers, is just try to create a trust, right? That segmentation is safe. This isn't some black magic. This is something that people have done for decades, right? And to great effect. So for people who want to start first time, what I typically introduce is the life cycle, right? Just talk about life cycle because it's really easy to understand. Just like you have people who have one order and have not bought for this amount of time. You want to do something with that. We show you a purchase timing graph to show you where the elbow points are, like in people's purchase life cycle. And so okay, well, like if they're just bought something, I can probably find something to say to them, right? Like maybe some reviews or like examples of other people using the product, some maintenance, or maybe a founder letter or a video. Encourage them to buy some other things that people usually buy. Complementary products, like that's sort of like the active stage. And then during the at-risk stage, like, okay, you start to worry a little bit, right? Like maybe you give them a little bit more urgency, offers, frequency of emails go up a little bit. Maybe there's an offer they can't resist sort of towards the end. When they churn, sort of like after like about 13 weeks or so, they don't open emails. You got to do something different, right? Like, so in that case, maybe it's a retargeted campaign on Facebook or on Google. So they know like you're still sort of like, hey, say like on the side, like, hey, can you come back? But they're not opening emails, right? So just try different things at different stages, and just to see how that goes out for you. And I think it's not that scary. Like if segmentation is really a tool that everyone can leverage to great success, right? Like we see even Klaviyo has this case study saying like on highly segmented campaign, they see conversions double, right? Like 100% higher. So that is just something that I think I want to help all of our SMBs and brands to figure out like what is the thing to do for segmentation. And it's not that scary. Like you can trust the data. Like you just need some help to get started.
No, I like the approach of making data human. I think that takes a lot of fear away, and also the idea of saying data is not evil. Actually, it's good for you. It's good for your business. It's actually good for your clients because
Yes.
they get the information at the right point in time when they need it. So you're actually adding something to the table there with doing the right data work on your side. So I like this really a lot. Where can people find out more about segments by Tresl?
Yeah, so we're on the Shopify App Store. So we've been on Shopify App Store since 2019. So that's just apps.shopify.com/segments, segments. You can also find it on our website, tresl.co. And we are on the Shopify Plus app partner page as well.
Okay, I will definitely add the links to the show notes so everyone can try it out. Talking about trying it out, do you have any kind of trial version? Any kind of how long need people sign up immediately, or how does that work?
Yes, yeah. So we have a 14-day free trial. So you can install the app, and then when you after you finish the data onboarding process, it'll ask you to choose a plan to trial, and then you get 14 days to try the plan.
Okay, I had a look at the app and I can highly recommend it. I think it really adds to your business, adds to your customer service, adds to on different levels, just on not seeing it as an analytics tool, just seeing it as a business tool that brings something to your business to grow it, to bring people back, to really find out what's happening in your business. Thanks so much, John, for your time. I really appreciate a lot of good tips in there and hope to talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Klaus, for having me. Take care.
Bye. Hey, Klaus here. Before you leave, I have a question for you. Are you a Shopify store owner and you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and not sure what to do next to grow your business? Do you struggle to convert traffic into sales and turn website visitors into buyers? Do you want to have direct access to a mentor who can assist you with your store, your strategy, offer, marketing, sales, and anything else you might need in your business? Then I would invite you to apply for my Get Conversions program, where I show you how to remove the guesswork out of growing your Shopify business and create clarity to optimize your business for maximal growth and profit. This is an application-only program. To apply, go to klauslauter.com to learn more. And finally, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It's a huge help and allows me to reach more people with this channel. Thanks in advance, and until next time at the e-commerce coffee break.